AM 1460 WXBR Boston. Peter Zimborn and Mike Pava here with you on Marathon Monday morning, Patriots Day here in the city of Boston in the Metro South. And joining me now via the telephone is a woman synonymous with the Boston Marathon. She won the marathon 3 consecutive times from 1994 to 1996. She was also a 2-time Olympian for her native Germany, marathoner Uta Pippig. Uta, good morning and welcome to the program.
Hey, good morning, you guys.
Uta, for someone who is synonymous with the Boston Marathon, this year, unfortunately, you will not be gracing New Englanders with your presence at the track. You will be at your home, which is now in Colorado, unfortunately.
Yeah, but you know what? It doesn't matter at all because I think I had never so much correspondence, phone calls, emails, Facebook message, Twittering, whatever, in the last few days. Just wishing everyone good luck. I'm not sure, but maybe you know that I'm a little bit involved with the Hoyt Foundation runners, with Team Hoyt, with Dick and Rick, and they hopefully will have a great run today, all of them. Great team, by the way, to work with since many years. It's just, you know, they are the inspiration for the marathon. They do so much for their community, for the children. It's really amazing to be with them.
Once again, we're chatting with Uta Pippig, winner of the Boston Marathon in 1994, 95, and 96. I was actually unfamiliar with the fact that you were involved with Rick and Dick Hoyt. They were just honored in the area with a statue of themselves just last week, Uta.
Yeah, isn't this nice?
Oh, it's
and
wonderful.
It shows that they are so special. It shows the deep love between father and son. Very emotional, very helpful and inspirational for many people. I mean, I don't know. It's just that over the years you grow so much appreciation for both of them, what they do for other people, how deeply they inspire, and gosh, it's just an honor to be, you know, involved with them and know them as people, lovely and caring people.
And what exactly is your involvement with Rick and Dick Hoyt and their organization and their team?
No, I coached them the last 5 years. I stepped a little bit back this year because I had other projects involved, and they wanted me to do more good anywhere else. So they were kind enough. So I didn't coach them, the individuals this year, but in the last years we were, you know, they have charity runners, which are, all of them are raising funds, of course, like also, for instance, Dana Farber or other charity efforts in Boston, which is amazing, by the way, that the BIA grants so many numbers. But anyway, so they help raise money for kids with these disabilities. And, you know, and Dick and Rick are the leaders, of course, of these groups. And it's just fantastic interaction.
Uta,
completely unselfishly. Really, really nice.
Uta, outside of your accolades and accomplishments running the Boston Marathon, what makes the Boston Marathon so special for runners everywhere?
Oh, it's a traditional race. It's the oldest marathon in the world, the most traditional. It has very good elite fields every year. I mean, this year the women's field is spectacular. And then don't forget the fans, you know. I mean, so many thousands spectators. New Englanders know their athlete. They know sport. You can't fool them, so they are special.
Uta, thank you very much for joining us this morning. You talked earlier about inspiration, and I'm sure many of the runners this morning look to you as an inspiration. What kind of advice would you have giving runners this morning with the experience that you have?
Have fun. Completely have fun. Enjoy this whole thing. I hope the weather stays good the entire day. I hope it's not getting too warm. Start the race conservatively because there are small winding roads. It goes 130 feet, just the first mile down. So start with a smooth pace and then just have fun and take the energy from the crowd. Then there's the Screech Tunnel, the Wellesley College. You know, that's a lot of fun. And maybe for many of this will be the experience of their life. So be exuberant and have a lot of joy and fun running this thing.
You mentioned what makes the Boston Marathon so special to runners. What makes it particularly challenging?
Of course, it's the alternation of up and downhill. You know, I mean, you know yourself, maybe you guys ran it before, or someone in your team. But for many runners, it's the frequent alternation between up and downhill, the gentle rolling hills. And then, of course, there is this patch of 7 Newton hills from 16.5 miles on, you have a relatively flat part from 15.5 to 16.5. You can recover, but then you go into those 7 Newton hills. And they come at a time where normally, for some, maybe the wall hits them already because they ran too fast in the beginning. So if you take it smoothly in the beginning and conservative, you might not even feel those hills. Who knows?
Uta, the longest race I've ever run was a fraction of the Boston Marathon, but someday I hope to.
Come on, tell us the truth. What was it?
5 miles.
Oh, that's cool. So, multiply by 5 and you're right there.
See, I've been told before that if you can do a half marathon, you can do a marathon. So my ultimate goal is to get to a half marathon, and then you just tough out the last half of a marathon, you can do it. My goal would be to finish, though, Uta, not exactly to win like you were. I'm not world class.
That's not the point anyway, right? I mean, for most of the runners, it's just they run for someone they love. They run for their own fitness. There are so many different reasons, so many different causes why people run the marathon. Many want to stay fit with it. Many want to have this exciting feeling of doing something completely special. And I have to admit, if you stay relaxed, if you run the first 5 miles and you want to train for a half marathon, but you have an internal relaxation and joy, you can do anything. It is just how fit you are and relaxed you are inside, how happy towards life, and then, hey, just go for it. I mean, the half is such a beautiful distance, so you will be in no time a marathoner.
Hopefully at this time next year when we have you on the program again, Uta, I'll be gearing up to run the marathon myself. We were talking earlier about advice you have for people competing and participating in the marathon this afternoon. And I should mention that there's a wonderful article which you've written on TakeTheMagicStep.com about what makes the Boston Marathon course so special and unique.
Thanks.
Take the Magic Step is your organization, and TakeTheMagicStep.com is your website. Explain to us exactly what it is.
It's a fitness and health organization, but with a very charitable touch. Take the Magic Step is the first step of the journey, the first step out the door. That's what I always like to say, even when I raced back then in the mid-'90s, and it continued on. And then in 2004, it became a mission. It became the mission, literally, to help people. Our mission is to help people achieve a greater sense of well-being through inspiration and through education, but also through lifestyle changes, but with one little extra note to do it small step at a time. So there's no big fat diet or, doing anything fast. And what also we did in 2008, we founded the Take the Magic Step Foundation. And it's so special. With this, we all rounded it up because we have underprivileged children worldwide. Especially here in Colorado, we are involved with the Louisa May Alcott Foundation in Concord, which is so special. I'm talking to Dana Farber often, I'm involved with the Hoyt Foundation. And also we have a charity. I'm bragging now. I'm so sorry. But
it's no need. You can brag. And you know what?
It is such a cool life, I have to admit. I'm working with so wonderful people worldwide, and they are so special. They are so good, so much good in this world. And I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm honored to be part of it, So it's very special. Anyway, sorry, guys.
That's okay, Mike. We have a native German who now lives in Colorado, so synonymous with Boston that she's mentioning more Boston charities she's involved with than either you and I, and we live here.
Very true.
So, Uta,
come
we
on,
applaud you for that.
Just join me. It's easy.
Well,
it's easy, and there are so good fellas out there. You just go on the street, and all of a sudden you ask people, and they say, "Oh yeah, I know Dana Farber. Oh, Dick and Rick Hoyt. Oh sure, they just live close by." Or, just do something fun. I mean, it's so easy, and I think, of course, now I'm probably reaching a little out, right? And you forgive me, but imagine everyone would help one or two people. Then, hey, no problem. Everything is solved. Case closed. But, obviously we have to go there and get there. And, so we partnered up with all those wonderful people. If it's the Hoyt, Dick and Rick, or if it's the people also you never mention. I mean, the volunteers. If I just imagine all the volunteers who work for Dana Farber, people, the nurses even, the physicians, people we never name. How cool is that? It's very special. And if you stay on this path and you stay effective and you stay on a mission, then you can move a lot over a certain amount of time and stay effective. Of course, there's a lot of stuff out there.
Once again,
and the government will help, hopefully more and more. So we will see. I mean, it's a good combination as long as we stay on target and on a mission.
Once again, we're chatting with Uta Pippig, who won the Boston Marathon 3 consecutive years from 94 to 95. Uta, quite the accomplishment winning the Boston Marathon 3 years in a row. I have to ask you, though, what's your feeling that perhaps the one lasting memory, or not the one lasting memory, but the most vivid memory a lot of people have of you winning the Boston Marathon was the 1996 marathon, where you won it despite the fact that your body was seemingly failing you a little bit, if you will?
Well, it was a little bit falling apart, but, things happen when you train very hard and you're focused for many years. But, no, it was a cool race, and I can't remember that I won this thing in spite of the fact that I had this colitis. I can't change it. I had some problems in training before, and so I still won the race. And I remember a guy, a French guy at mile 5 or 6, and he said, Uta, he was running in my group, can I offer you a tissue, please? And I said, oh, my God, what is going on? So anyway, but you overcome things in a special race like this. And I stopped doing that race. I said, oh, man, should I really continue? But I didn't want to disappoint anyone.
I mean, let's just say this. You're talking about mile 6, Uta. You're talking about mile 6 in a 26-mile race. You won that race ultimately despite the fact that you had diarrhea and menstrual bleeding running down your leg. At what point did you decide that you're going to keep on going? Mile 6 this started. You still have 20 miles to go. Not only did you finish the race, but you win. An amazing accomplishment. But somewhere in the back of your head, there must have been a voice saying, should I or shouldn't I even continue, let alone try to win?
Yeah, I think when you train so hard and you're so focused, there is no excuse, no matter what. You would run till the end. Of course, now, years after, I say, especially involved in fitness and health, and, in fitness and health for children, I say, of course, you have to stop under these conditions. So any advice to anyone else would be stop and, heal. But, in this, when you have so much going on and you are so focused and you are so driven to win this thing at their time, and you see everyone who helped you and you cherish it, it's the last thing you stop. I mean, I stopped, but then I said, no, I have to continue. And maybe there's a short circuit, you never know, but of the short circuit of survival we human beings have, so that's basically what happened.
Uta, in 2005, you were named on the board of advisors to the MIT Age Lab. Are you still involved with that? And can you explain to our listeners what the Age Lab is?
No, the MIT Age Lab with Joe Coughlin is very special in terms of, resources, collecting resources, not just technical, but also beyond that in terms of how make it easier for elderly to live longer, healthier, and more equipped technically. For instance, they had this beautiful car, Susie, and Susie was this. I think her name was Susie. I hope I say it right. And she basically, the car helped to an elder person to be more technical equipped to still survive our fast-growing society in terms of technical science, technical science, and so on and so forth. I'm not as much as well. I'm not as involved as much as anymore. We were thinking it would go further, but this is one of the projects. I have to admit I couldn't pursue further. But I love Joe Coughlin. I love his mission. We are still in contact, and he does tremendous nationwide and demographically. If you see, our population gets older and stronger. In terms of, and people want to stay. The baby boomers all want to stay healthy. They want to be fit. They want to still drive around. They want to live longer. And it's a financial issue how to organize financially your retirement. Not an easy task, and they do magic things at MIT to combine all this and help the elder population.
Once again, we're speaking with Uta Pippig this morning. Uta, you represented Germany in the Olympics in 1992 and 1996. Tell us what that experience was like.
Well, Olympics are fantastic. They have this special spirit. I mean, they bring all people from all countries, all religions together. And I remember maybe not last year when there was the opening ceremony in London, they played a song. Imagine from John Lennon. And it says it all. I mean, of course, imagine we would at least without fight, without war, with completely respect and understanding for each other, even religious-wise, politically, socially, would respect each other. That's special. That's basically still, in many ways, what the Olympics represent, and that is why I hope it will continue for good. It's extremely special, and I remember back then, boy, I came just from East Germany. I was 2 years out of the state of suppression and oppression. No freedom of speech. I know I'm talking now a lot, right, and doing this interview, but
no, it's okay. That's what this is,
Uta. Freedom, right? We have now. We can speak our mind. And then back then, I remember there was the apartheid in South Africa. Elana Meyer just was able to run in the 10,000, and I ran her in this race. I remember standing on the starting line and getting goosebumps just because I know she could run with me. She became a good friend over the years afterwards. They could run for the first time. That is the spirit of the Olympics.
Once again, we're chatting with Uta Pippig here on the special Marathon Monday edition of the Metro South Morning Show here on AM 1460 WXBR. Uta, you won the Boston Marathon 3 times consecutively in the 90s. We mentioned earlier that you were involved with Take the Magic Step. Your organization, more information can be found at takethemagicstep.com. You've done TV work throughout the years, particularly covering the Boston Marathon for WBZ for a number of years, as I recall. What is keeping you occupied these days, Uta? What are you up to now?
A number of things. I love coaching. I love to write about coaching, so I just finished a sequence on a website about marathon training, so people can literally follow from the first day on the most important subjects. So I love writing. I love to coach, so I have a triathlon athlete I coach for her running part, and I love to be involved still with all these charities all the time, and we communicate. And then something very special I'm currently working on. Thanks for asking, you guys, but it ties in a little bit what I told you beforehand. It's a speaking program. It calls Running to Freedom, and it's a history-inspired speaking program or presentation which explores literally the desire for change and also how to find inspiration by reaching your goals and simply living the best you can be, but again, with a small step at a time. It's so special because I tie in, coming from former East, having no freedom of speech, also the loneliness to be in a country like this, to be isolated, and then, just how it develops, that you can change in how you behave, and that you, for instance, keep forever a skill you love most. For instance, out there, some listeners maybe are good runners or good riders or good scientists or whoever you are out there. Keep what you love, even in difficult situations, and normally you prevail.
That's Uta Pippig joining us here on AM 1460, the new WXBR. For more information on Uta Pippig, check out takethemagicstep.com, and you can follow Uta Pippig on Twitter at Uta Pippig. Uta, we expect a retweet later on when we mention that you'll be on our show. Can you do that for us?
I'll say it again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Can you show us some Twitter love on the Uta Pippig official Twitter account later when we mention that you're on our program?
For sure. Just pass on some fun stuff. I should Twitter, and then off we go. No worries.
Sounds good. Well, Uta, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Take good care, Mike, Peter.
Thank you.
That is Uta Pippig joining us here on AM 1460 WXBR. We're going to step aside for a quick breather. We'll be back in just a moment with more of the Metro South Morning Show.